If you're planning to cruise aboard the Adventure of the Seas with Royal Caribbean, then you're in the right place. I'm Beth, and as a producer and director of theater and film for over 2 decades, I've traveled extensively with business and family. And now my husband and I are here to help prepare you for adventures of your own. Recently, we took an 8-night, 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise, and we'd like to pass along what we learned, so we're inviting you to tag along. Let's start with booking better deals. You'll want to book your trip as far in advance as possible. Royal Caribbean often has the best rates 12 to 18 months in advance, and they'll release their itineraries 18 to 24 months in advance. Most cruise lines require that you put a deposit down when you book your cruise, and then you can make your final payment later closer to the sail date. We learned that it's important not to make that final payment until the last possible moment, because if the price of the cruise drops, then you can contact your travel agent or Royal Caribbean if you book directly through them, and they can work to either give you onboard credit for the price difference or maybe upgrade your room to the next level. One thing I discovered the hard way though, if you see the price drop, you need to contact them immediately. I saw it on a Saturday, knew our travel agent wasn't open on Sunday, so I waited till Monday, and by that point, the prices had already gone back up. So they could change within a day. If you look on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, sometimes cruise lines offer deals on those days. And then just throughout the year, they'll have different incentives where they'll offer kids sail free or onboard credit for booking a certain number of night cruise with them. So always be looking for the different incentives. We booked through Costco Travel because the incentive with them was a Costco gift card, and that worked well for us. And Costco Travel helped us with all of our itinerary changes throughout until the sailing date. They were very easy to work with as well. You can also find better deals by traveling earlier in the season or later in the season, or during hurricane season. Hurricane season is June through November, with peak hurricane season being August through October. So it is a little bit of a gamble, but we booked for late August and we just missed Hurricane Erin. So it worked out fine. Our first day at sea, the waters were still a little choppy because the hurricane had passed through a couple of days before, but after that, it was totally fine. Or if you're looking for the best deal, you'll also want to try to avoid peak travel seasons like summer or spring break or the winter holidays. Now let's talk about booking shore excursions. Shore excursions should be booked months in advance. We did find out the hard way that those do sell out, especially the ones that are booked straight through the cruise line. Those are the easiest to book and kind of the most convenient because everything is packaged all together with your cruise vacation. They give you all the directions on the cruise ship the night before and where to meet and all. So it makes it easy. You can track it all on the same app that you track your cruise with, but you might find some more unique and different opportunities if you look outside of that. For instance, we found one opportunity on a website. The company had great reviews, and we booked a jet car for our day excursion in St Croix. That turned out to be a really fun adventure, and everybody at the company was super friendly and everything went just as it was described. In Old San Juan, we booked a walking tour through Airbnb Experiences. So if you go to the Airbnb app, you can click on the tab that says Experiences and then click the city you're looking for. And there are a whole list of excursions. You can read the reviews to see what people liked, what they didn't like. And we had a great walking tour with a man who lives in the city. And so he knew lots of different things. And it was a smaller tour. So if you're interested in finding out more details about any of the excursions that we chose and where we found them, be sure to check out the different island excursion videos that we have posted. Also, just a note, you don't have to book an excursion for every day that you're at port. Sometimes it's nice to take a break and be on your own schedule and just walk through the city and see what you see and do things as you see them pop up. Sometimes that's a nice break, gives you a little bit of a rest. We did this in the Bahamas and had a great time. Now let's talk about preparing to depart. We booked an earlier departure time, and we highly recommend that. We enjoyed it because it gave us time to get on the ship, pass our luggage off to be taken to our room, and have time for lunch before the ship set out to sea. There was plenty of time for us to walk around the boat, see what was there, see how long it took to get from point A to point B, see how to get from point A to point B, and just really explore the ship before it started moving. If you're interested in more about the ship and what you can do inside the ship, be sure to check out that video. A link is also in the comments below. You'll also want to travel to your port city the day before your ship departs. On our first cruise, we flew into our port city the day that the cruise departed. Once we were boarded and started talking to people, everybody thought it was a very risky decision to make because there could have been flight delays, or if you drive the day of, if you have any problems while you're driving down, car trouble, anything that delays you, you could risk missing your ship. So we now fly in or travel in the day before, spend the night in a hotel. This time we decided to rent a car. We found a car rental company that had a location close to the port and offered shuttle service between the car drop-off and the port. I found a couple of different shuttle services that will take you from your hotel to the port, and they will list the hotels that they will stop at to pick up people. A few things that you want to make sure to bring with you, or that we recommend bringing with you on the cruise. One, you can bring some of your own gear. So we chose to bring our own snorkel gear this time. You could also bring your own sand toys or beach towels, anything of that nature that you would want for a day on the beach. So then you could just be on your own time on one of the port days. There are lots of ports that have beaches close enough that you can walk to from the ship. And if you have your own gear, then you're on your own and just enjoy a day at the beach with your own stuff that you know you've only used. Also, flying in or traveling in the day before you leave gives you time to shop for supplies once you're there. We took the time to go to a local grocery store to get a few items before we boarded the ship. If you choose not to do the beverage package for sodas, you can have up to 12 17-ounce bottles or cans per stateroom on boarding day that you can bring on board with you. We chose that option, and every guest that is of drinking age is allowed to bring on one 750 milliliter bottle of champagne or wine. They also allow you to bring non-perishable snacks on board. You'll want to just check their website. They give a really great description of what you can and can't bring. The non-perishable snacks were really important for me because I do deal with some food sensitivities. So if you have food sensitivities or allergies, you definitely want to bring some of your own snacks. And we'll talk about eating with food sensitivities or allergies a little later on. Now let's talk about some dining options. This is one thing you will want to choose before you board. You can do it on their app. You can choose early seating, late seating, or my time dining, or you can dine anytime with reservations. We recommend scheduling the earlier seating in the main dining room option because it takes about 90 minutes to eat a full 3-course meal. They have lots of different styles of food, so it's a great place to try new foods. You meet different people. The waiters are fun and they keep it entertaining. They also have different theme nights, and they encourage you to dress to the theme. They will release the theme nights on the app a few days before the cruise, so you can pack some special things to wear if you want. Some of the different nights that they had on this particular cruise were formal night, white night, Caribbean night, taste of Italy night, just to name a few. Another reason that we like the earlier dining is because it got us out in time to get seats for the evening shows or to participate in some of the evening activities. You can also select whether you want to be with a group or if you want to be with just individual your party. Since it was my husband and I traveling just the two of us, we decided to go with group dining. And typically with group dining, they will try to place you at a table with people around your age range. We enjoyed it because we would all come together each night after a full days of activity, and we would get to talk about what each group at the table had done that day. And then we discovered that we ended up on some of the excursions with our new friends, just randomly. We had picked the same excursion, and so that was fun. And then we got to spend the day together, come back and dine together that night. If you're looking for meals at the standard meal times, your options are going to be the main dining room and the Windjammer Marketplace, which is their cafeteria. Lots of different options there, but also you can have food 24 hours a day at the Cafe Promenade. And they serve sandwiches, pizza, and desserts anytime you want it. We also picked up a tip from some of our dining table friends that the main dining room serves a nicer breakfast and no reservation needed. You can just walk in. Now let's talk about dietary restrictions. If you have food sensitivity or allergies or have a special diet that you're trying to follow, Royal Caribbean really does try to accommodate for that. You should go to their website. They ask that you send them an email 45 days to 90 days before your departure date so that they have time to prepare and put all the things in motion that they will need to make sure that you have the food that meets your dietary needs. I did this. I went online, found the email address, emailed their access department. The agent there was very quick to respond. They were very nice, accommodating, asked several additional questions, and upon arrival, our first time in the dining room, the head waiter came to our table and found me and went over the list of dietary restrictions to make sure that they had it correct. This really only applies to the main dining room. When you go to the Windjammer Marketplace or the Cafe Promenade or any other place that serves food on the ship, it's up to you at those places to ask, let them know of your dietary restrictions, and then they can serve you food that fits into that. And I'm just gonna be totally honest, because I did have 3 separate times, despite following all the steps, where I was served things that I should not have been eating. I was contacted immediately by the healthcare staff. I received a phone call, we received voicemails because we weren't in our room, messages. They were constantly trying to contact me to see if I wanted to see one of their doctors on board. So I did appreciate their follow through in that. It was disappointing that even with me going through all the steps to try to let them know everything, that I was still served something. So again, just a warning, if you have severe reactions to food allergies, yes, be very careful. Maybe ask 3 or 4 times just to make sure. I would say you would just want to be extra careful as you travel on board. Let's move on to some more fun things, like all the different onboard activities that you can participate in. Outdoor, they have 3 different pools, 2 for everyone, 1 that is adults only. They have 6 different hot tubs, 4 for everyone, 2 that are adult only. The solarium area is the adults only area. They have the perfect storm water slides. There are 2 of those. It's the Typhoon and the Cyclone. They are 3 stories high. It's dual racing water slides spiraling down. They also have the Flow Rider, which is a surf simulator. 40 feet. You can either boogie board or use a surfboard. They have the Adventure Dunes, which is a 2-story, 9-hole putt-putt course. They also have a rock climbing wall, which is 40 feet tall. They will provide all the gear, shoes, harness, and they have an easy, medium, and a hard side. They also have an open-air pickleball court. You can do intro sessions, open play, or tournaments. They also have basketball and volleyball on this same court. So you'll want to make sure you know what times they're doing which activities. They have ping pong, which is in a covered area, makes it a little easier to control the ball. They have a track for walking and jogging. You can also do one of my favorite activities, which is reading a book on deck. Lots of different chairs and locations and views for that. You can watch the sunset or the sunrise. After dark, they have movies on deck. If you want to see more of these different outdoor activities and see more in depth, take a look at our outdoor activities video. The link is below for that. All right, let's move indoor. They have Studio B, which has ice skating shows and open ice skating. You can do 20-minute slots for open ice skating during the day. They have yoga classes in the Vitality Fitness Center, and they also offer a lot of other classes with weights, treadmill, etc. Many of the classes are included with the cost of the cruise, but there are some others that require an extra cost, and a lot of these you do need to make reservations for. They also have an arcade for video games, air hockey. They have the Schooner Bar and lots of other bars. Schooner Bar, they had great trivia sessions. They have the Blue Moon Lounge. That has some of the best views from the ship. And also on select evenings, they have silent parties. The Lyric Theater hosts game shows, their big Broadway style shows, and their comedy shows. They have a casino with tables and slot machines. The Royal Promenade is their city street. They have the first night opening parade there, and then each night they also have different themed parties. We attended the 80s night. They also have the Imperial Theater for dance lessons. They offer karaoke and live jazz music at the Imperial Theater. If you want to see any more information about any of these events and other indoor activities, you can check out our indoor activities video, linked below. All of these things you can do on your own or with a group, maybe with some of your new table friends that you met at dinner. They can be spontaneous or they can be scheduled. The Royal Caribbean app is great at managing your schedule and just showing you everything that is going on at any given point during the day. And once you start booking things there, then it will keep your schedule for you. It'll send you reminders of what's coming up. It was great. Also, if you're kind of nervous about some things, it's fun just to be a spectator before you participate. I had a great time watching young to old try these things. Some you could tell were very experienced, some were doing it for the first time. Very entertaining. One last thing about the activities, try new things. This is the place to do it. Even if you feel like you're gonna look foolish or feel foolish, try it anyway. Take the cha-cha class, try the flow rider, do things that you might not normally do. It's a great place. You're probably gonna have lots of fun. And if you don't, you're probably never gonna see these people again anyway. So take it, do it, try new things. Also, it is important to remember that resting is an activity. Make sure you take time to rest, especially before your excursion days, so you have plenty of energy to go and do that as well. All right, let's wrap it up with a few random miscellaneous things that we wanted to make sure to tell you before we end this video. First is about Wi-Fi. You can use the Royal Caribbean app without purchasing the Wi-Fi package. And through the app, they have a messaging feature so that you can message your friends and family that are on the ship with you. We actually recommend not purchasing the Wi-Fi package. Take the opportunity to go off the grid. It makes the vacation just nice to not even have the option to check your email. One thing we've noticed is that cruises that are in the open ocean as opposed to a gulf or a sea, the waters can be a little choppier, especially on our cruise. The first couple of days, the waters were choppier and you could feel the boat rocking from side to side. In our stateroom, our bed was positioned in a way that actually when we laid down, we were rocking head to toe, which is a little nauseating. So we actually rearranged the furniture in our room and turned our bed so that it was rocking side to side with the ship. Made it much easier to go to sleep. We did discover though, if you do that, you need to let your room attendant know. We came back the next day and they had rearranged it back into its original order. So we had to turn the bed again, and that time we did talk to our room attendant. Another random thing, bring 2 swimsuits at least. You want to have one that you can wear and one that can be drying. Also on the clothing side, they have great laundry service at reasonable prices. So make sure you look at that, especially as soon as you board. I think it's within the first 24 hours of boarding, they have an iron special package, but it's very reasonable to let them take your clothes that have been shoved in the suitcase, get them all ironed, pressed, looking nice. They actually did damage one of my items in that whole ironing process, but they reimbursed me. It was super easy. They took care of it. It wasn't a big deal. Another small, silly thing that we really appreciated were the day plates that were in the elevator that told you what day of the week it was. Especially on longer cruises, you really do lose track of the days. It was nice to walk on the elevator and just be reminded, today's Monday. You experience so much, so fast on cruises We highly recommend journaling, whether it's just quick jotting down bullet points of the things you did that day or something extra special that was fun or funny, or if you really enjoy writing, just taking time to make that full journal entry so that when you get home, you can look back and remember all the different things that you did. One final note. One of my favorite things about this cruise in particular was the first 2 days were days at sea. I don't know about you, but for me, packing and getting ready to go on vacation is just a whole build-up. There's making sure you've bought all the items you need, making sure everybody you're traveling with has everything that they need, getting everything at work all in line so that you can be away for a week or a few days, however long you're going. When I get to the vacation spot, I really want to rest for a little bit. So this was great. It was like a mandatory rest period the first 2 days that we were on the ship. And then after that, we started our shore excursions and visiting different ports. So if you're looking at cruise options and you see one that the first day or the first 2 days is at sea, highly recommend that. Where will our next adventure take us? We're not sure, because that's another story. Thanks for tagging along with us. Please like, subscribe, or share your questions and things you've learned below. Also, if you're ready for more, be sure to check out one of these videos. This is Beth with Tag Along, encouraging you to have an adventure all your own.